welcome back to another book review video. If you are new, my name is Charlie Louise. Today I'm going to be reviewing Minimal, How to Simplify Your Life and Live Sustainably by Madeleine Olivia. If you haven't heard of her, she's a YouTuber who's most famous for her cooking videos, her recipe videos, but she also does a lot of videos around sort of being minimal, being sustainable. I was a follower before she released this book, and when she released it I thought it would be really interesting to see what it was, and here's what I thought about it. So I genuinely loved this book. Normally I find books like this, because they're non-fiction, they can be quite tricky to read. They normally remind me of textbooks, normally reciting a lot of facts, or even they can come across quite pushy. They can use arguments which themselves aren't very helpful or aren't necessarily very well researched. And that was something that really impressed me, is because a lot of books by this sort of genre are ones which aren't necessarily well researched. They don't necessarily show their facts and their sources, but this is something that Madeleine Olivia did do. So she's got a whole big reference list, she uses really good citations in there. And also the writing style of the book, it was very friendly, it was very informative, and it was just really engaging, which is really different to what the vast majority of books of this nature are like. Normally they're a lot more pushy, a lot more persuasive, but this one, it was almost as though you were having a conversation with a friend and they were just supporting you, educating you on different areas, giving you some tips and tricks. What she did really well is she brought in little exercises that you could do, little questions you could ask yourself. So one of them, she did lots of different exercises in the book just to help you with thinking about the things that she'd been mentioning in that chapter. You can either write them in the book, or if you're like me, I wrote them in my journal because I don't like writing into books. There's something that seems inherently wrong about that and I don't really know why. Let me know if I'm not alone in that. But yeah, so she asked things like, make a checklist of things that you can refuse now when talking about how to sort of reduce, reuse, refuse, recycle. It's a really good way of getting you to make you more likely to try out the techniques that she recommends. I also really liked how the book covered lots of different areas, and not just in the areas of sort of throwing out clothes, fast fashion. It also covered things like trying to swap to more eco-friendly household cleaners, or making your own face masks and things like that, which was a really nice touch. I did try out some of the recipes that she mentioned, so the one for the multi-purpose cleaner. It seems to do the job, but it doesn't quite smell nice, so I think I've got some tweaks to go on there with trying out different essential oils and things, but you know, really great start. The only thing that I didn't like so much about the book, or one of my main criticisms, is that I did find some of the tables that she used to be a little bit confusing, but maybe it was because I didn't spend enough time looking at it. Someone else might have a very different experience. And I did notice that some points in the book there was things which she mentioned that you could do which might not be so helpful. For example, she mentioned about when you go to the supermarket, if you have to buy things in plastic, to unwrap them and leave the plastic at the conveyor belt, which, although it sounds nice, is something that in reality just creates more work for supermarket employees. But those are really my only criticisms. Overall, I was really impressed with the book. I really liked how it was aesthetically sort of designed, so there's pictures in the books as well to help anyone who might struggle with reading lots, to help with summarising. And in terms of the actual book's design, it matches really well with what the subject matter is. It did annoy me a little bit that they weren't capital letters, but that's probably because I'm a little bit of a grammar nut. But I did find though that the book does, so I don't know if you can see, but in parts of it, it hasn't been very far and I've not had it very long, but the pink cover has sort of worn away a little bit and gone white, which isn't that great, but it is all made from recycled paper, sustainably sourced, which make all parts of the book as sustainable as possible. So overall, I give this book a 9 out of 10. I found it a really helpful overall guide for learning how to move to minimalism and how to live more sustainable. A lot of it I already knew, as I am someone who's interested in that anyway, but it is the first book that's really got me actually motivated to get going and started with it, probably thanks in part to her use of those exercises. I would really recommend this book for anyone who is interested in exploring minimalism, or who just wants to take some steps towards being more sustainable in general. But thanks for listening. Let me know in the comments if you've checked out a book like this, or if you know of any others. I'd be really interested to read a bit more. And until next time, stay kind.